out the wound every single time you're telling everything over and over again.
They say I'm young, they say I'm dumb, but what they don't know.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Hot Girl Theory podcast. I'm your host. We never did a thumbnail for the last podcast. You wanna do it now? We're like, oh. Are you ready?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Hi guys, welcome back to the podcast. I'm your co-host Mary.
And I'm your co-host Tara.
Welcome back to the Hot Girl Theory podcast. So today we are going to be talking about therapy, and as you can tell, we're all comfy cozy.
It's storming outside, so it feels right.
It's giving therapy session, which is what we wanted it to feel like.
Yes.
So, do you want to kick it off?
I would love to.
All right.
So, how did you get into therapy?
So, therapy was something that was really hard for me to kind of get into because I went into a depression over a boy.
Okay.
In my sophomore year. So it was kind of around COVID time, and I really liked this boy, and he was playing games with me. But at the time, I was like, no, like, he loves me. Like, seeing all these signs of, like, you know, like, oh, if I see a red card today.
Or you see angel numbers.
Yes.
You're like, it's meant to be.
And he had a code name, and I would see it everywhere. Everywhere.
Every girl's been through that, where we think the signs mean it's like meant to be.
And me and my friend, we would like egg each other on. Because at that time, we were like both in love with these two boys that just were like on and off. Like her guy would like get back with his ex and then not talk to her. And then when they broke up, so we were like banking on them breaking up, and then be like, oh my gosh, it's your time. Like really bad, like toxic stuff.
That is crazy.
Yeah, but the same thing was happening with me, where he would be like, oh my gosh, let's do something. I literally left a guy's house to go meet up with him.
I think I remember you saying that.
Okay, so, sorry, I had to just be a pie. Do you want some?
Sure.
So I didn't think I was dating this boy, but I think it was kind of like it was kind of like we were like dating, but not like officially. So I was at his house, and we were just like hanging out, and before I left, we were playing basketball, and he was like, oh, like if I make this, you gotta kiss me, or you gotta give me a kiss. And I was like, okay. So he had like made it like he missed the shot like 9 times.
Oh.
And then he made it on the 10th. I was like, fuck. So I literally gave him up, and he was like going all in for the makeout. I was like, no, you said a kiss. And he was like, oh, you're right. So then he texts me. The guy texts me, and he's like, hey, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, I'm with my friend. Like, why? What's up? And he's like, oh, I was gonna see if you wanted to hang out, but
so you're like, let me drop everything.
No, literally. He was like, I wanted to see if you wanted to hang out, but since you guys are hanging out, like, we'll find another day. And like, trying to get this boy to hang out was like finding a full moon or like a blue moon or whatever.
Finding a diamond in a rough.
Finding a diamond in the rough. There we go.
Yeah, that's a good way.
And so I was like, no, like it's crazy because I'm actually dropping her off like as we speak. So like, can I come get you in 15 minutes? Like it, and I know it was bad. So I told the guy, I said, mind you, it's 9:30 at night. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot. My mom is moving tomorrow, and I promised her I would help her pack. It's 9:30 at night.
Wow, you were really down bad for
I
this,
was
man.
so down bad. Oh my gosh. So, I leave. I just wrote my eye and makeup on. So I leave, and we literally just go hang out in the parking lot.
Oh, romantic.
Oh, yeah. Did we speak? Barely.
But you were just so happy to be there.
I was just so happy to be there.
You know what? I'm happy that young you was really happy to be there in a car
Yeah.
with him.
But I was like, oh my gosh, think of stuff to talk about. Like, it was...
Was he like a egotistical kind of guy, just cared about himself?
No, I don't know.
The vibe wasn't there? What was
I think I thought it was more than it was. I think I was in such la la land of like, this has to be it. Like, I was so set on, like, this is my guy. I just have to wait for him to know, kind of thing. But it was, I, like, went into, like, a full depression mode. Because I don't know. So I ended up going to, like, this big depression. And I, like, couldn't stop crying. Like, I would cry before school. I would cry in class. Like, there would be times I would just be scrolling on TikTok. And I was so heartbroken. And, like, my TikTok feed was like, he's gonna come back for you. Like, you just have to wait. And I'm like...
And it gives you, like...
I got so much false hope. And, like, then, like, he wouldn't, like, talk to me for a few days. And we had the same class together. But when anyone else was giving me attention is when he would sweep.
Of course, it's such a hard fuck.
There were, like, these 3 boys in that class that I, like, became really good friends with, and one of them was, like, pretty popular. And I had the biggest crush on him in middle school. I brought sour Skittles because I knew that were his favorite, and I made a play. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, Mary.
Okay, I'm gonna... Back to my story. So anytime, like, I would help him out with, like, work or whatever, he would be texting me. Because he sat 2 seats behind me, but he would never talk to me in class.
Interesting.
Never. But then, one time, like, we had a sub, and he texted me, he was like, skip class. And we hung out in my car. But then, like, the next day, like, he didn't say, like, for the next few days, he wouldn't say anything to me.
That's ridiculous.
So I would get, like, these, like, false hope things. Or, like,
signals.
One time he texted me, it was... Oh my gosh, I think it was, like, junior year or whatever. He was like, I have a secret to tell you, but I promise not to say anything. Or, like, something like that. I was like, there was no point in saying that. Yeah. Like, what do you need? I don't know. It was just, like, this weird thing as if he had, like, some, like, something on me. It was weird. But anyways, I got to a point where I didn't want to do anything. Like, I cried at cheer practice. I would cry after cheer practice. I'd cry after school. Like, I was so, like, I just didn't want to do anything. I wasn't happy at all. I cried so much, but I had, like, gotten to a point where I was like, this cannot keep going. So, and my mom knew how, like, heartbroken I was over this. And she was like, I told her, I said, I think I want to go to therapy, which was really big for me because anytime, like, I thought I need therapy was there is something wrong with me. So the fact that...
And a lot of people feel like that.
Yeah, the fact that I had to, like, come to terms with the fact, like, okay, there's nothing wrong with me, I just need to talk to someone. Because my best friend at the time was my only outlet. And, like, because we were going through the same thing, we related so much, but, like, we were also feeding each other the wrong things, and, like, we could only help each other so much. So...
The way I look at it is the way you go to the doctor to take care of your physical body, you need to go to the doctor to take care of your mental, you know? And a lot of people see it as, oh, there needs to be something severely wrong with me.
Yeah, or, like, you have to have, like, a deep trauma or something.
Does that mean you have to have a heart attack to go to the doctor?
Go get a checkup? Like,
no, you need to be taking care of your mental health as you're taking care of your physical body. That's the only way to be an overall... well-rounded, healthy person. And I wish society thought more like that. I think we are getting to a point where people see it more like that.
100%. I feel
it's
like
normalized now.
Yeah, a lot more people are, like, out about their mental, like, illnesses or, like, about, like, how good therapy is, which my mom always went to therapy. I went to therapy, like, once when my parents got divorced because my mom thought it, like, messed us up, and I was like, I don't even know why I'm here. I'm, like, rambling, like, I'm crying for no reason. But so I went to her therapist, which we both go to the same therapist.
Shout out, Paul.
We love you, Bobby.
She's the best.
She's amazing. I haven't been to her in a while.
Me either.
I've just been good. Like, usually I don't go to therapy unless there are a few things building, which I know they say, like, don't do that, but if I go, I really won't have much to talk about. And I feel like I'll kind of spiral into things where I'm like, well, that's not really bothering me.
Yeah.
So I have to go, like, when I have something. So yeah, I started going to her, and I went, like, pretty frequently. And after that, like, I just started feeling so numb to things. So, like, after, like, I actually, like, got the courage to go, because I was writing a lot. Okay. Like, anytime I had, like, feelings, I would, like, write it down, which helped me a lot. But once I started going, like, it is so, like, you feel, like, so naked. Like, you feel so, like, you have to be so vulnerable.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, you actually, like, the only way therapy works is if you're truly honest, which I'm very thankful to have found a therapist that I clicked with so well and that I can, like, fully trust. Because I feel like that's what puts people away from therapy.
Oh, yeah.
Is, like, well, I didn't feel comfortable. And it's, like, you don't want to, like, go to a therapist, like, for a few times to try it out and then end up trying a new one, and then you have
and
to...
therapy's expensive as well.
Yeah.
Like, insurance doesn't usually cover therapists, at least the ones I go to. So, it can be expensive.
Yeah, and you don't want to, like, have to go through, like, oh, this is my whole life story, and then you're like, actually, I don't like this person. Yeah. And then you go, it's, like, it's a lot, so I'm very thankful that...
It's like when you're dating people, and you have to reopen up the wound every single time,
like,
retelling everything over and over again. It's the same thing with finding a good therapist.
Exactly. So once I actually, like, went to her, I, like, figured out, like, oh, okay, like, I feel so much better. And, like, even now, like, when I go, like, when I went through my breakup with my friend, and, like, I went when, like, I have, like, a problem, and I'm like, I don't know, like, family problems. It's just so nice to have an outlet where you feel safe and you feel heard. Because with her, I was like, am I crazy? And she's like, well, you're doing this, which isn't good, but also this is happening, which isn't good. So it's like, or, you know, like, she gives you such a balance of, like, well, why do you, like, what do you mean? Like, she just digs, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I never thought of it that way.
She's awesome.
She is really, really good.
Yeah. Therapy's been different for me. I've been in therapy my whole life, since I was 9 years old when my parents divorced.
Yeah.
My family, basically a little recap on my backstory. My parents were together 13 years, had me and my sister. When I was 9, this was back in 2009, my sister was 6 at the time, my grandmother, so my dad's mom, got diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer. So she was battling that, and my dad had a drinking problem. So he was a really abusive alcoholic to my mom. So they struggled. They tried pushing through for like a year, but it was just really traumatic for my sister and I was at the forefront of the majority of it. And I was always like a kid trying to stick up for my mom, and I would be like yelling back at my dad, and that's crazy now that I'm an adult thinking back of like, in the moment, I felt like it grew me up so fast. Like, I felt like a grown-up protecting my mom, but now I'm like, that was a 9-year-old child doing that. Yeah. And that, like, really messes with you. Yeah. And my sister was more of the one who would, like, hide when things like that happened, and that's shown, like, the older we've gotten, how it's made us so different. Yeah. And, like, the trauma's affected us in different ways. Yeah. And so, my parents ended up divorcing. My grandmother died of breast cancer. And so we had a really monumental, like, hard time in our life. We lost our house. We had to file bankruptcy and leave our house. And the divorce just caused a lot of really, like, deep emotional problems in our life. And so I started going to therapy. It was also really hard for me because my mom ended up meeting a man, and he became our stepdad. He came in very fast into our life when my sister and I were still healing from all of these things that were happening, and it was like we were silenced. We couldn't talk about it in front of our stepdad. And Mom, I know you're listening. Not to, like, hate on my mom. She's an amazing mom, was doing, like, the best she could in the situation that she had. But, and she always apologizes to us now about it, but basically it was just really difficult to be able to work through that trauma when you're a child going through this, trying to figure things out. Your mom's just moved on. There's a new man living in your house, and you can't even talk about this trauma. There's a lot going on. And our therapist, he was great. Dr. Lee, shout out. It was my doctor. He was great. He helped us a lot, like, when we were kids and everything. But then I ended up, like, I kind of outgrew him as a therapist, and I needed someone to really help me, like, how to fix this problem. Yeah. Because I did have communication problems after seeing how my family, I didn't have a healthy relationship to look up to.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of things I had to work on in therapy that I'm still working on. But it's crazy to see the transformation over this past decade or two that I've really like grown as a person thanks to therapy.
Yeah. Like even entering like my relationship with Lucas, like I wanted to run so fast. Like when he was kind of brought into my life, just kind of having like seeing how I've been with other guys, like kind of like how they've all ended. Like I fully went into this thinking it's not going to turn into a relationship. He's probably just going to come over a few times and then he's going to lose interest, or I'm going to lose interest. And I like, if Tara hadn't pushed me, this would not be a thing because of how scared I was, and like how like physical touch is the last on my love language, and he was so touchy. Like there was.
But now I would say it's like your first or second.
Yeah,
you
it's
love.
definitely
You're
number
very
2.
touchy now.
Yeah, and like my friend growing up, she was super touchy, and I hated it. But like with him, like there was one time at Cowboys, he was all up over me, and I almost had a panic attack. I went to the bathroom and I literally started crying because it was so like, my parents aren't touchy at all. Like my mom's super cuddly, but my dad's not really a physical touch person.
Like your dad, so you guys are just similar in that way.
Yeah, I'm very much like my dad. My sister is very much like my mom, especially like emotion wise, because me and my dad hide our emotions, or like we definitely stand strong, whereas like my mom and my sister like to feel. And like going through this transition with like Lucas of like, holy, like don't ask me to be your girlfriend yet, like I'm not ready for that. Like I wanted it pushed off because that's so scary, like opening up, and like I have to like tell him about like my past, and I had to tell him about like, hey, these are things like I really struggle with.
And I remember that was something that you were scared to get into a relationship and have to tell him about, like your family things and different things that are something that you thought you could just keep to yourself forever.
Yeah.
But that's something that's really scary, is entering a relationship. You have to like tear off the Band-Aid and show all these really vulnerable wounds within yourself. That's scary.
Yeah, and I feel like now like I've learned that like I don't really like, I'm fine to share now because it's just like
it's part of your story.
Exactly. Like I'm so fine to share like everything, and I'm like, I'm not ashamed of like whatever.
No one's perfect. Everyone has these things in their life.
Yeah. Or like even with you, it's like one thing like I definitely feel so comfortable with you because of how vulnerable we were at the beginning, where it's like, and you're so like, you dig deep into things, so it's like it makes me feel like validated, where I'm like, okay, like I'm very angry, and you're like, okay, but like what is making you angry? And you're like, but is that really worth making you angry? So it's like you dig, and like that's what I like really appreciate, is that like
I love you.
Like you've helped me so much to grow.
You've helped me a ton as well. We've helped each other so much.
Oh yeah.
But therapy has just been amazing, and I'm really proud of you because I've seen you grow a lot and opening up like to Lucas and not running from things that you're scared of, because sooner or later you were gonna have to open up to someone. So I'm glad that you took that first step of like being able to be in a relationship and being able to open up and feel comfortable.
Yeah, because like there's not much you can hide, because it's like when something happens you have to explain. And like he's someone who I foresee myself being with forever, so it's like, okay, like he needs to know. Especially
reactions, like the way people react and communicate in relationships usually is because of childhood trauma and different things that they've dealt with. I struggled with communication in relationships because of the examples that were set in my life. So I really had to utilize therapy, practice, self-healing, and inner work to help me get through those things. And I'm still so young. I'm still dealing with that, still learning every day. But it's just you realizing that first step of like, hey, there's a problem. I need to fix it. And I can't just blame my trauma forever. I need to take it as like, it's myself. I need to fix this for myself.
Right. Yeah.
And that's just the first step, and that's enough. It's just owning up to your shit.
Yeah, and I think finding shame around therapy is very, like, old. Like, if you have a problem, like, you gotta find the steps figured out. Because, I mean, we've known of people who will, like, use the fact, like, oh, this is just happening, and they'll use it as an excuse to react.
Like that. Yeah.
And think that it's okay to react the way they do, when it's like, you need to figure this out.
Oh, yeah.
For your own success, but also, like, for the people in your life.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
Especially, like, I feel like people like that, like, they will react poorly, and then, like you said, they'll be like, oh, it's because of my trauma, but then they don't do anything to try to fix it.
Right.
And they stay in this pattern, this cycle, and it's more shameful to take things that way instead of going to therapy and trying to work on yourself. Like, at that point, you're such a strong person for going to therapy and trying to work on yourself, because it's fucking hard.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
And especially, there's been so many times where in therapy, I have such an amazing session. I'm like, I'm ready to take it on. Like, I'm fucking ready. I'm healed.
Yes.
And then you get put in another situation, you're like, fuck. Like,
yeah,
it's so hard.
I used all my tools up until this point. Now I need to know how to do it now.
And it's so hard.
Yeah.
Because, like, you're so prepared, but then your mind can just switch back to, like,
your old habits and your old ways.
Yeah. Like, my brain can go back to how I was as a 9-year-old child and how I reacted to things. And that's what's crazy about trauma, is, like, sometimes your brain doesn't know where you are.
Yeah.
And that's something I talked to Bobby about, is sometimes your brain is still, like, I'm still fighting like I'm that 9-year-old kid, because I don't realize that I'm not still in that cycle of my life anymore. And it's a retraining of your brain. And so it takes a very long time. And the brain is so crazy. And when you look at it after it's been through trauma, and I could go on forever about it. It's so interesting.
Yeah.
But therapy has been amazing. And I need to go back. Like, I need to book my session. I don't know why I keep putting it off.
I still get nervous going, like, oh my God.
I love therapy.
But it makes me feel so much better. Every time, like, I remember, because I cry every single time. Like, it never fails. I always cry, even if I'm like, I'll literally be like, I'm not even sad. Why am I crying?
But it feels good, though.
It does.
You feel, like, so released and refreshed.
It does. I'm like, I need to cry. I need a good cry session. I'm going to go to therapy.
Yeah.
But I remember I had this session, and Bobby at the end told me, like, I am so proud of your progress. And that made me feel like I can do anything.
I love her so much.
Because, like, I've been going to her since I was in high school.
Yeah.
And, like, the fact that, like, she told me how great my progress was, and, like, how she can see me changing, like, for the better, like, makes me feel really good. Because it feels like I'm doing something right. And I also feel like, okay, now I'm in a good path.
And I'm so proud of you. You're doing amazing.
So much.
You are. You're doing amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, I definitely need to book a therapy session, especially because of my grandparents.
Yeah.
So a little recap on my grandparents. There's a lot of monumental changes going on in my life right now.
Yeah.
A lot of
change.
Amazing ones.
Yeah.
But then the con right now is that my grandparents we don't know how much longer we have left with my grandparents. I'm super blessed. My grandpa is 92 and my grandma is 88. They have lived an outstanding, amazing, like, Guinness World Record book kind of life. Like, Forrest Gump is the way I always, like, compare my grandpa, like, that kind of life, where it's, like,
I love that.
one in a lifetime.
Yeah.
And I am so at peace knowing they've lived to the age they're at, because, you know, so many people don't live to that age, especially the amount of things they've accomplished.
Right. Like,
they've traveled all over the world, went in the pyramids in Egypt, and in the White House, and everything. Yeah. And so they've lived a life, and the fact that him and my grandmother are still alive together is amazing.
At their house.
And
like,
they've been together for like 70
home.
years. Like, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
But aging has caught up to them. They've been in and out of the hospital for the past 2-3 months. My mom and her 2 sisters have been taking turns taking care of them. They can't be alone anymore. And I saw them yesterday and broke down crying just by how fast they're deteriorating. And it's really becoming a reality that I don't know how much longer I have with them. And my grandfather has been my only father figure throughout my entire life. I don't have a father figure. My dad is not in my life. I haven't had a constant besides my grandpa. So he also really took care of my mom, me, and my sister when my mom was working 3 jobs just trying to make it for us. And he would step in and make sure we were okay. And without him, I don't know where any of us would be. He was such a selfless man, always making sure we were taken care of. And that's something I will forever be so grateful for. And it's just been really hard. Especially like my grandma's losing her memory. She doesn't know what's going on. So there's just a lot of things. And she was telling me yesterday that she's on the road to recovery. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
I do hope. But and my grandpa hugged me yesterday. He's like, I'm so thankful I was able to take care of you throughout your life.
Yeah.
And yeah. So I'm going to miss them. But I'm hoping that I have some more time with them. I'm gonna go spend like a week with them in July. And yeah. So I need to go back to Bobby and do a therapy session. Even though this is kind of like my therapy session as well. I hate that it's like death is something you can't stop. We're all gonna be there one day.
Yeah.
It sucks, but I am at peace knowing that they're together, they lived an amazing life. I just hope they go peacefully, and that's all I can ask for.
Yeah.
But enough of my crying. I am thankful there's a lot of good things going on in my life, so it's been a great time in my life so far.
A lot of change happening for you.
A lot.
You
just moved into our new house. I got a new car. Matt got a new car.
Yeah.
He got a new job. I got a new job. There's a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
It's been amazing. I'm truly, truly blessed.
Yeah.
Like, I can't thank God enough for everything that's been going on.
Yeah.
But I feel like when a lot of good things go on, there's always like 360s and cycles of life. Like the bad also comes. So trying to navigate this part of my life has been a little bit difficult. But we're hanging in there.
Yeah. I am glad you got to see them.
Me too.
Yesterday.
Yeah, even though it was hard.
Yeah.
I'm happy I was able to see them. And I couldn't stop crying in front of them, so I felt really bad. Even though my grandma would forget a minute later that I was crying. Oh yeah, funny story. My grandma's always been one to like care about her looks, count calories, not eat too much, you know. And because she's been forgetting, I swear her memory is like the span of like every 2 minutes she's asking the same questions. And so she'll eat 2 cookies, leave 2 minutes later, goes and eats like a huge muffin, leaves, keeps coming back, keeps eating nonstop all day. My aunt put them into bed, her and my grandpa, and they're laying in bed, and my aunt walks out of the room, but she can still hear them as she's walking out. And my grandma looks at my grandpa and says, you know, Jesse, we're both not feeling good. These people are starving us. And my grandpa just like laughed and rolled his eyes. This woman is eating nonstop and she can't remember.
She just had 5 cookies and a muffin.
So she literally thinks that my aunt is starving them and that's why they're sick and in bed. Like, these people, I can't. It's so funny. Oh my god. I love them so much.
Okay, so going off of that, from what we've had in therapy, how do you like cope with things? Because I know there's definitely ways like a lot of people can be avoidant with things, or like even like communicating. Like you are very like, I want to talk about it now, or I'm very like, I need a day, or like I need a few minutes.
Oh my gosh, that's something that is like Matt and I are very different in. Matt needs like a day or two, and I need like to get it figured out now.
Yeah.
Because I'm uneasy if I know that like we aren't okay.
Yeah.
And that's something that has been really difficult about being in a relationship with 2 different backgrounds, 2 different childhood like
ways of
being
like,
raised, and 2 different personality types. Where I'm like the more emotional one, and he's more like, he's a man, he's logical, he's stubborn and all of that. Love him to death, but we're very different when we communicate. And so, but what I have learned is that honestly, the time that he wants actually helps me too. And it's something that I don't want, but it does help me. Because in the moment, I'm thinking with emotion, so I could say something that is out of emotion and I don't see his side of things. And so it kind of makes the situation worse when I want to talk right then and there. But when we take some time, I reflect, he reflects, and we come back and it's like solved within 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so maybe the time is good because it helps us. It's something that I don't like. It's uncomfortable to me.
Yeah.
But it is helping us.
Yeah.
So it's like something I'm learning, being okay with the uncomfortable of taking that space and time.
Yeah.
Which is really nice that we have a bigger house now, so we're not like, because in our last place it was just us in our one bedroom, so we didn't have that space. So he would want to leave the house or I would want to leave the house to get away from each other because you really need that space during conflict. But now we can like separate. I can go do my own thing, he can do his own thing, and we come back and talk.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I definitely so I used to be able to like either just blow things off or like hold on to things for a while. Now I physically cannot hold it in because like the other night he was just pissing me off, and then like 20 minutes later I'm like, he knew I was upset, and I was like, well, no, like I can't like hold it in anymore.
Yeah.
But which I'm glad I can't.
Me too. Because I remember you used to text me, and I'm like, just talk about it.
Yeah. It'd
So
be like
I'm the
2 days
opposite.
later, and I'd be like,
I'm the opposite. I talk to the
okay,
point
we
where
can
I
talk
shouldn't.
now.
Where I'm like, okay, maybe I'm saying too much now. Maybe it should just be like, I need to sit with the feeling a little bit and see if it's still bothering me and not just react in the moment.
See, I just need to gather my thoughts.
Yeah.
Because, like, if it's right in the moment, I'm just like, I need a minute to even figure out what the hell just happened.
Yeah.
And, like, our first, like, year together, we never, and, like, barely, me and him would, like, get into, like, little tiffs. But, like, now it's obviously more frequent. Not frequent, but, you know, it happens.
You guys
more.
live together.
Yeah.
We've been together for a while.
Yeah.
It's
like,
normal.
Exactly. And that was also really hard for me to figure out, like, oh, like, this is normal. This isn't, like, a make or break it situation.
And Matt and I was the opposite. Our first years when we argued and had a lot of
We had
communication
a lot of hardships.
a lot of communication problems, and we grew a lot together.
Mm-hmm.
And now, thankfully, knock on wood, I don't want to jinx myself.
Yeah.
We have learned so much to the point where we've been together so long that we know how to handle each other. We know how to communicate better, so we work a lot better together.
Yeah, I've heard that, like, it's either your first year in a relationship is really hard, or your first year is super easy.
And then it's like the second.
And then that's when it kind of gets bumpy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Regardless,
you got yours out of the way.
Yeah, regardless, there's going to be bumpiness in all
Yeah.
relationships. It's two people from two different
Yeah.
sides of the world. Not,
Yeah.
well, maybe not side. Same side,
Same
just
side, just
down.
Just down.
Different parts. And different ways of being raised.
Yeah.
So, like, it's just totally different, and it's hard.
Yeah.
Relationships aren't easy, and that's what I hate about social media, like we already spoke about.
Yeah.
They're not perfect. They're never
Yeah.
going to be perfect. It's just choosing your person and choosing to make it work with that person.
Yeah. Which friendships and relationships to me are pretty much the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like, how you have to water and, like, love on a relationship is the same way you have to feed and, like, water your friendship. Like,
oh, yeah.
when it comes to a point where your relationship is completely overtaking you and you don't have the, because I think that outlets are so important, which therapy was my outlet.
Yeah.
When I did not have my friend to lean on.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I don't have anyone to talk to about it. And it was so nice having that unbiased person that I could be like, this is everything that's happening.
Yeah.
And they could either be like, well, what did you do? Or, well, they clearly didn't care about you. Like, they will give you it straight.
Oh, yeah.
And having that outlet to be like, whoa, that's a completely different perspective I didn't think of, is so important, but it's the same with friends. Like going to Tara and being like, oh my gosh, this just happened. Or going to any of my other friends and being like, I just need a minute. Because centering everything around one person, even a friendship, even when you're too invested in a friendship, you need other people.
Oh yeah.
Like you need other outlets.
And every relationship is beautiful and serves its own purpose in your life.
Yeah.
I really truly feel like no matter the person in your life and like what value they hold, they each hold their own value and own purpose.
Yes.
And own reason for being in your life. Like
Yeah.
I've learned so many different things from each person in my life that I couldn't imagine just surrounding myself by one person. It's like then you're limiting yourself from growing as a person.
Yes.
Because you're limiting yourself to that one person.
Yeah.
And it's like putting all your eggs in one basket. That's scary. What if it doesn't work out and then you're stuck alone with no one else to lean on, you know?
Yeah. I've seen that like I have friends where I can talk to them about this, but like I would never go to them about this specific issue. Or I have like going out friends, or I have like my work friends, or like you have like creating those different bonds helps you like in so many different ways I don't think you realize until you sit down and think like, who can I go to about this problem?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, next I want to get into how you know you're healing, or do you think you're just attracting yourself?
Okay.
Like if they're like, okay, I've been to therapy, but how do I know it's working? Or am I just not paying attention to my problems anymore?
I feel like a lot of the times it's gonna get worse before it gets better. At least it did for me. Especially because like we already kind of spoke about, when you're put in a situation where it's putting you to the test, that's when you're gonna know if you healed or not.
Yeah.
And sometimes maybe you are healing and you'll still like revert back, which is normal because your brain, your body is still gonna react in ways that you have in the past. But I find, honestly, if you're worried about if you're healing, you are healing. Because you're so concerned about healing that it's like you're trying to make those steps to become better.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I lost my train of thought. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of spaced out for a second.
No worries. I wanted to move into body image, to be honest.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about that.
So body image is something that I feel like every girl listening probably at one point has had a problem with body image. It's something so
100%.
normalized nowadays, and it's so sad that, especially with like how people can Photoshop their bodies, they can make themselves look any way they want with filler, with surgeries.
Yeah.
Like we have gone so far away from being natural that it causes young girls growing up to look at this and look up to people thinking that's how they're supposed to look.
Oh my gosh, can I tell you about a comment I got on my TikTok the other day?
Yeah.
I posted a TikTok and I was like in a bikini, and some old man, or like it was either an old man or like an account that like didn't have a profile pic, but they said something about like, okay, how about you get like my boobs done or something. And I was like, great. Now I feel bad about myself.
Dude, it's a creepy old man.
But I'm like, what?
But they still put that thought in your head, you know?
Yeah,
no
because now I'm like, oh my gosh. Because I know I'm not working with much.
But that's what sucks, is that no matter what, like, especially if you're in the public eye on social media, one comment can, like, change everything.
Yeah, and the way I think about it is, like, because normally if I get, like, a mean comment or, like, whatever, I'll delete it because I can.
Mm-hmm.
And also I think, like, okay, Kylie Jenner gets these kinds of comments. Like, people I look up to get these kinds of comments, and, like, it's inevitable that, like, I'm putting myself out there.
Yeah.
I have a public platform, and even opening up to a new social media thing, like, I'm going to get some sort of hate, or I'm going to get mean comments, and I'm like, it's going to happen, but it's like the way it affects you is where you have to kind of hone in on, like, how you deal with it.
Do you remember Omegle?
Yes.
So I used to go on Omegle with my friends as a kid.
Yeah.
And when I was in middle school, no, maybe it was high school. Well, I did both. Anyway, I don't remember which time this was. But I was on Omegle, and it would come up, like, random people. I got so many comments about me being mega mind with my big forehead.
No.
I'm like, my forehead's not that big. I'm like, you know what? All hot girls have a big forehead. But seriously, I was like, I never knew any, like, I didn't think that my forehead was big, but then when I would go to Omegle and people would say that, I'm like, what are they talking about? Like, it's not that big.
Yeah, it's not.
And it's just crazy how, like, comments like that can just stick with you. Like, I still remember those people commenting that, and I was like, because I was with my friends, I'm like, wait, they're talking about me? I'm like, what do you mean?
I was always, like, when I was younger, I was always, like, the fat friend. But, like, I wasn't that big. But to me, I felt so much bigger than my friends because like,
everyone's else like a stick and just little.
Yes, like
yeah, that's how I was.
My friend in Indiana, she's so tiny, and like when we were little, she was so tiny, and she would eat like a piece of pizza, and I would have like one, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm starving, but like I'm not gonna ask for another one, you know, like but it's like, and then having to like wear her big sister's bathing suit and like things like that, or even like Jama was always so much smaller than me, and I was like, oh my gosh. Or like there was this one boy who thought he did not like me. He was Jama's like boyfriend in like the 4th grade or 3rd grade, and I had to ride the bus with her. I would ride the bus with her sometimes. He did not like me. He probably thought I was like annoying or whatever. And I was like, whatever. He did not like me.
Kids used to be mean back then.
Yeah, or even, so we both work with kids, and the way kids treat each other is insane. Like, yesterday, remember the little boy I told you that gave the flowers to a girl?
Yes.
Yeah, he punched someone yesterday.
Oh, that was a switch up.
Yeah.
So maybe he's not a sweet little kid anymore.
But what happened prior was this one kid, he's a brat. Brat. And he was like, oh, well, your fatness helps. To the kid.
Okay, well, go him.
Yeah, but he didn't say it to the kid that he punched.
Oh.
But those things like that, like, they trigger me. Because I'm like, that is going to stick with him. Like, stuff like that. And the kid at, one of the kids at the middle school, he would always come up to me saying, he called me fat, and he called me a big bag, he called me big. And I would always ask him, I'm like, do you think you're fat? And he's like, no. And I said, you're not. They're just going to say something that they know would hurt you.
Yeah.
And working with these kids, sometimes I try to like enter in like a big sister kind of protective mode because I know how detrimental these thoughts or these comments can be.
Oh yeah.
Because they stick with you.
Yeah, and at the middle school, the kids, there would be these girls that were so skinny saying like, I'm so fat, I'm this, I'm that, and I'm like, you're beautiful. Or I'd have ones asking me all the time, am I pretty, Miss Beza?
Yes.
Do I look good in this? I'm like so self-conscious. I'm like, you are gorgeous.
Yeah.
You don't need makeup, because they would pull out their eyelash curlers and mascara, put all this makeup on. I'm like, you don't need makeup.
Yeah.
You're a kid. Just be a kid. I wish that kids could just be kids, and I feel like they can't.
That's what I tell them all the time. I would say, be a kid as long as you can, because when you're my age, you're going to want to come back. Like, when they're like, I hate middle school, I'm like, enjoy it.
I told them all the time, like, want to trade places?
Yes, I'm like, because when you are my age, you have bigger fish to fry. Like, you have to pay bills, you have to work. Like, it's like you are in a good position right now. I know it sucks, because school sucks, but just, like, make the most of it.
Yeah.
Like.
For sure.
Yeah, but they just won't understand until they're older.
Oh, yeah. And that with you talking about the kid punching a kid, took me back to a time when I was a kid. I was like 4 or 5.
Oh, I didn't even get into that story. I'll get into
and
it. And
there was this little girl. She was like, it was my parents, and they would always bring over like their friends, and it was the friend's kid. And she would always come over. She was so mean to me, always bullying me. And one day I had enough of it. So they're all like, all the parents are hanging out in the room. All they start hearing is thumping. They look, I'm dragging this girl by her hair and hitting her head against the corners of the baseboards.
Tara!
Yeah, I had enough of her bullying me.
I get it,
and
girl.
And the parents like separated us, but the girl's parents was like, I mean, Tara had enough of her bullying. Like, she was mean to me. Even the parents knew.
I would have
so I was like,
eye,
as you should.
Right.
I was like, little Tara was a rebel.
Right. Oh my goodness. So the kid that punched another kid, this was the same day he was like told that comment. So we were in the gym. I literally, first of all, this was yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I go to the bathroom. I'm feeling like my energy level is at a 0. I'm like, I don't feel good. I went to the bathroom, blood everywhere.
No.
So I told my boss, I said, I'm going to go home and change.
Yeah.
Because this was during their lunch period, so I had the free time. I go home, I come back, immediately as I walk in the door, he hit me in the face. And I'm like, what? And he comes over and he's like, because you hit the ball at me. And then he was like, no, I didn't. And he goes after him, throwing punches. And I'm like, whoa. Because he's my good kid. So I was so disappointed to see him acting like that. So I
But then you're also like, if he's doing it, something must have happened to trigger him.
Yes, but then I was also like trying not to give him a bunch of crap because I'm like, okay, someone said that comment to him earlier. I'm like, the kid he punched is kind of like he kind of pokes the bear. So I'm like, okay, what? Yeah, no. So I tried to feel as bad as I could. But yeah, it made me feel really bad.
Oh, poor little kid.
No.
All right, Mare, so what would you recommend to people thinking about going into therapy?
Do your research, because there is like I said, I got very lucky to have found a therapist pretty much first try.
Mm-hmm.
And just get a feel. Like, if you really feel like you need it, or if the thought even pops into your mind, go. And if you go the first time and you're like, this isn't for me, then that's fine. But I think everyone should try it once. And you're not weak if you go to therapy. You're not, like, it makes you stronger. Absolutely. Because it helps you. And when people are like, therapy's for girls, like, no, I hate
more men need to go to therapy.
More men need to go to therapy. My man is pro therapy, and he's been, and that's why I love him.
I would love Matt to go to therapy.
Didn't he say he wanted to go?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's more of the type of guy that like thinks, oh, I can handle it myself. But I think it would benefit any guy to go to therapy.
I agree.
I think a lot of men think like that, but they really don't realize how much it would help.
It's very attractive if any men are listening. If you go to therapy, work on your emotions.
Your girlfriend will love you forever.
Oh my gosh, yeah. But I definitely think try it once. Do your research. There is specific therapists out there. I've heard a lot of people talk about BetterHelp, and
I've heard that too. Yeah.
That it helps you because you can do it online. If you're like, I just want to be in the comfort of my own home. If you want to go to a place, personally, I like to be in person because I know if I don't go in person, I'll probably just try to skip it.
Yeah, me too.
And I don't feel like I like being there. I'm always in comfy clothes. Like I love it. So I think definitely try it once. Do your research, and I recommended Bobby to Tara, and she loves her. So if you have anyone who is in therapy, maybe ask around.
Or start a podcast with your best friend, because this feels like we're in therapy right now.
I know.
I feel refreshed.
I feel refreshed. I feel great.
I had a cry session. I talked about my trauma. Maybe just start a podcast.
No, literally. I promise you feel like your battery got recharged after entering therapy. You feel like you can come out feeling like Superwoman every single time. Even go if you don't have anything wrong. Just, I tell my brother, because I try to get into therapy, I'm like, just go talk about basketball, go talk about your dreams, go talk about your ambitions, go talk about what bothered you that day. Yeah. They just want you to sit, they're there to listen. So if you even have the thought in your brain of, maybe I should talk to someone about this, go to therapy. Just do it. Just do it.
We'll be so proud of you. Everyone else in your life will be proud of you, and then your girlfriend will be proud of you.
Right.
So, thanks for watching today.
We hope you guys enjoyed. We hope you took something away from the episode. Go to therapy. I promise you it'll benefit you.
It benefited us.
Yeah.
Have a good week. We love you.
See you next time.
Bye.